Good day everyone! So today we're going to tackle about the attitudes and job satisfaction in an organization. So hello, I am Joris Elbili E. Pangilinan. I am currently studying at Bataan Peninsula State University, Balanga Campus, and I am from Bachelor's of Science in Accountancy 1B. So let's talk first about attitude. When we hear the word attitudes, what comes to our mind first? Diba, it is how we behave arrogantly in front of others, towards other people, or towards an organization. If a certain employee has an attitude, let's say Joanna has an attitude in an organization, we will quickly judge that the attitude of Joanna was negative. Little did we know that attitude can be both positive and negative. So following that statement, it is indicated here in my presentation the definition of attitude. So we can see here that the attitude is simply the evaluation or the judgment of a certain person towards a certain event, object, or a people. And more than that, attitude is the representation of our likes and our dislikes. Attitude is simply the reaction or rejections of our evaluation on how much we like or dislikes the information that we receive. So, in order to form an attitude, syempre, we must have an experience or an observation towards, just like what I said a while ago, towards an event, an objects, or a people. So, there are three components of attitude. So, the first component that we were going to tackle about is the affective component, or we also call this as an emotional component. This is simply your emotions, your feelings towards a certain person, towards a certain event or the happenings in your life. For example, in a workplace where the employees have no unity, if you are the manager of that workplace, of course, you will feel sad about it. And sad is an emotion. And ayun, yun yung tinatawag natin na affective component. So, let's move forward to another component. The second component is what we call behavioral component. It is simply the effects of the attitudes, of our attitudes towards our behavior. So, let's have an example. Kagaya ng example ko kanina, if the workers have no unity in a workplace, as a manager, I will find a way, you will find a way to have a solution para magkaroon ng unity doon sa workplace na yon. And that act of finding a way to solve a certain problem is a behavioral attitudes towards the employees to be unified. So finally, cognitive component is the last component of an attitude. This is simply your belief, your knowledge about a certain topic, about a certain person, about a certain object. Ito yung impact na kaalaman mo. And for example, in an organization or in a workplace wherein the manager believes, the manager has a knowledge that unity is a key to have a productive workers, to have a productivity in a workplace. And that's we call the cognitive component. So let's move forward to another topic in attitude. So let me just ask you one question. Just one. So, do you think that our minds or our attitudes could that be aligned, or could it be contrast towards our behavior? So let me answer it using the cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance, it is the contradiction between our attitude and our behavior. So basically, the answer is yes. Cognitive dissonance is a discomfort experience of two or more conflicting cognitions. These cognitions is our values, our beliefs, our ideas, or our emotions. This discomfort can lead to an alteration or change in our attitude and even in our behavior. For example, in a workplace wherein the employees have a private computers, and these computers isn't monitored by their managers, the result of this is the employees, instead of working, they tend to surf in social media platforms. That's their behavior. But their attitudes is, iniisip nila na, why? Why ako nagsisurf? Bakit nagsisurf ako instead of working? instead na maging productive. Just like that. So see, there's a contradiction between the two. Their attitude is they wanted to be productive. They wanted to work. But their behavior is that they are enticed to serve instead of working. That's the thing we call cognitive dissonance. So now, let us talk about the moderating variables. As you can see here in my presentation, I have three different words here. The first one is attitude, the second one is the predict, and the third one is behavior. Wherein I can say that attitude can predict behavior. So, the first variable to be discussed is the importance of the attitude itself, wherein it measures how significant the attitude implies. So, let's have an example. If I am the manager, I think that productivity is a key to success. Is it essential? Yes, because it measures how the organization will be a successful one someday. So, that's why. And the next variable is the correspondence to the behavior. It is how the behavior corresponds to the attitude. Let's have an example. I am the manager. I feel like my employees doesn't feel motivated to be productive. So I encourage them. I have the act to encourage them to be productive by giving them a reward and a motivation. That's the number two. The third one is the accessibility. From the words itself, from the word itself rather accessible, it is how accessible the certain attitude that we have. For example, the company has a problem and I have the attitude that I can have a solution for that specific problem. That's the accessibility. Number four, the fourth one is the existence of social pressures. So, the existence of social pressures is the thing we get from our peers, from the people that surrounds us, from the people in our organization, example. In other organization, if the employer doesn't think that productivity is one of the key to success, therefore, the employees will be influenced by the manager. That's the pressure in our social peers. So, the fifth one is the personal and direct experiences of an attitude. From the word itself, personal, it is the first-hand experience. It is our first-hand experience. If I am the manager, of course, I will have a knowledge that being productive in a certain situation corresponds to a success. I personally experienced this while studying, of course.